just standing here trying to look and see if I can actually see one or give one time to rise as my leader's hooked some moss. But I can't see one right now, so we're just going to throw the dryer and see if we can get to eat it blind, right like that. How could I not see you, buddy? I was looking right at you. How spectacular is that? That is just amazing. There we go. Hey everyone, this afternoon I've walked into one of my favorite rainforest streams to catch them wild brown trout. So for a start, I've just rigged up my single dry fly rod. We're gonna jump in, cast a dry around, see if we can get them to come up and eat it. I've also got my nymphing rod here, just tucked into my waders. If I feel I need to, I can always thread that, tie a nymph on, fish some of the pockets, fish a little bit deeper. So we're just gonna jump in, feel it out. I haven't been here in a couple of months, so I'm just interested to see how the river's fishing. So I just jumped in, took my fly off my rod, stripped out some line, and a fish cruised straight down here into that depression and then out of my vision over there. So it was quite a nice fish. So that's a great sign. I'm just going to be nice and patient, relax here for a second, see if it kind of cruises around again. It was kind of on the move, so it may come around again, or I may, if I take the time and keep looking, I may see it just set up in front of or behind one of the rocks in that little depression. And if I don't see that, I'm just going to fish it blind and work my way up, because I'm sure there's going to be other fish. Alright, I've given that fish a few minutes and I haven't seen it again. So I'm just going to start by making some drifts, working my way up. Who knows, it could be back up there where it actually came from initially. So we'll work up, I'm sure we'll find some anyway. Never know, we may find it blind just making some drifts through this stuff anyway. In these streams, you really got to make sure you fish all of the water, because the fish here, because the water gets so low over summer, well, it can get so low any time of the year, the fish are really comfortable sitting shallow. So the main current's not always the best spot for them. They can kind of be all over the place. So you really need to make sure you get a fly everywhere, up around the inside here, then work your way across into the main current. Got it. Whoops, stay out of there. Nice little fish. Had to be one in this first bit of water we fished. Moved my body across from that other side to here just so I can get a better angle and drift down from under the tree. And we've got a nice little brown. Come on, mate. Oh, how good is that? Stunning little brown trout on the dry. And I think you woofed that, you did. There we go. And there's the little dry. Alright, I was slowly moving up from this flowing water into this beautiful little pool. And I've just seen a fish rise in the bubble line. And I'm trying to see it, but I actually can't, because the light isn't great. So we're just going to make a drift with the dry. Got it. How cool was that? Not my world's best presentation. It almost was like all the slack had been taken out and it was about to drag. They got it just in time. Thank you, matey. Nice little brown. Alright, I'm just being nice and patient here because this flat water feels like the water where the fish are, more so than the pockety, tumbly stuff. So I'm just waiting to see if another one rises once that wind backs off. It is really windy, so the fish are kind of up and then down and then up and then down. And then I'm just going to make some drifts up. Same flight, there was a rise right up the top. That's what we were waiting for. But I was hoping it would not be 50 meters up there. I was hoping it would be back here. We'll make a few drifts up blind and work our way up to that rising fish. We're coming up towards where we saw that rising fish before. It's got to be just somewhere in that bubble line there. Somewhere through there, or maybe a little bit further up still. Come on. You've got to be somewhere up there. That's the spot. Got it. Well, oh, it's just come off, bummer. Well, we got it. That's the fish we saw just after we landed that one down the bottom there. So glad we could just work up nice and patiently, make the drifts and finally get it to eat. Moving up here into the tail because this is the water that's been good. This slower, flatter stuff. And despite the weather and a little bit of drizzle, you can still see them when they're there. Can't see one just at the moment. So I'm just going to throw a couple blind into this depression here. Gosh, there should be one like that. Oh, sorry, buddy. I was going to say there's got to be one on that right side where that little bit of a depression is. And there was. Thank you, matey. Keep throwing some drives up the edge here in case there's another one up there. Get out of that. No. It's got stuck in that log jam in front of the rock there. What I'm going to do, because it surprised me, I've sent waves up the pool, so I'm going to stay put here, make some longer casts and longer drifts up that bubble line there, up to the tree. And then I'm going to jump out, walk up, because I don't want to walk up here and just, push waves and potentially spook all the fish. Ooh, there's a rise. Just up there on that rock shelf. Might have been a bit below that one then. Yeah, I reckon it's going to be, the fish will be up more there. Or even maybe a fraction higher, because by the time there it is. Sometimes by the time they come up and eat, they've actually come back with the current, but not that time. I had my Polaroids off then, and my first cast just landed on top of the bedrock. And then when I put them on, there was a gap in the rocks. And that's where I made the second cast. And that's where this beautiful little wild brown was. Come on, mate. Spectacular. The fly come out? It has. There you go, mate. So I just wanted to take a moment to run you all through the gear that I'm fishing today, because my setup is very, very simple. I'm fishing a 9-foot 4-weight rod there, and on that I'm fishing a 3-weight floating line. I've got a 10-foot 5X tapered leader out of the packet that I've chopped back a little bit. Then I've extended that with 5X, 6X, 7X, and then finally 8X Tippet. And I'm fishing the 8X Tippet because the dry I'm fishing is very, very small. It's a little black dry fly here, CDC dry fly, and I find the smaller the fly you go, you kind of need your tippet to scale down with it so the fly behaves nicely. I love small black flies just in the top of the Otways here. One, they work really well, but two, there's just so many beetles, ants, black mayfly spinners hovering over the water, so it's just such a nice size and color of fly to be fishing up here, and it matches the fish size as well. So now we're going to get back to the fishing, but I just quickly wanted to share that with you. Don't forget, there will be links in the description to all the specs of all the gear and the links to the flies as well. So check that out. Now let's get back to the fishing. Got it. How cool was that? Ate that the moment it landed in that little pocket. That fish launched. Fantastic to see, you know, some very healthy small fish in the rivers here. There we go. All right, well, we'll keep throwing the dry up through some of these depressions. The reason I'm on this side of the river, there's one straight away. The reason I'm on this side of the river is not, oh wow. Wow, wow, wow. What are you doing, mate? Around the blackberries. Gotcha. Well, what I was saying before this fish rudely interrupted me here was I'm positioned on this side of the river because you can probably see now, looking straight up, there's so much glare. But when I'm on the right side of the river here, I can see everything because those tree ferns on that side of the river are actually cutting out the glare. Well, flies popped out. What a spectacular fish that is, and what a beautiful spot to catch it in. All wrapped up there. That was a heap of fun catching on the dry. It was just super pleasant and really positive to see, you know, a lot of fish in the river and some smaller ones too coming through. That's really, really positive for the fishery in the area. What was really interesting for me was how I didn't find many fish in the fast broken water. Now that's often water that you would go, oh, well that's the nymphing water, and I didn't nymph today, so maybe that has a part to play, but normally here you don't need to throw a nymph in there. They'll come up and eat the dry if they are there. So that was very interesting for me to see that the smoother, flatter currents, the pools were the best water today in this area. So handy if you are coming to fish this way anytime soon. As always, there'll be links in the description below to all the gear that I was fishing, the flies that you can buy from the Fly Life magazine shop. Check those out. Like the video if you did, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all next one.